Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right how here in the lab. Well, I do what I do for you. Oh, I got a nice one for you today. We big on the self, so I got another lesson for you. Let's go. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. Message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune the receiving. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life, through mental and spiritual discipline daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do just that. And my mission daily to give you the information that'll make that possible. All you gotta do is tune in and do what you do. You know how it is. Let's rock. And I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's also what I do for you. Get you to know you. The question is, do you know you? And know thyself is the goal for all right thinkers. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. They're not the right thinker. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. Those are good right thinkers. Why? That's why I do what I do. To educate you, enlighten you, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers know that self. And to my eye, be true. We've been doing the self thing. And remember, right thinking philosophy is all based on self. Improvement and knowledge of self, knowing thyself. So it's all based on self. So this is lesson no different. Break it down a little different for you this way. Let me see. Right thinkers, let's talk about thyself. THY self. Or the self. THESELF. Okay. So do you know thyself or the self? That's the question. And I'm going to lay it out for you. And that decision again would be up to you. So I'm going to let you know. Let's go. Right there, let's talk about thyself or the self. Who do you know? Do you know yourself? Okay. Your higher self or your lower self? The. See where I'm going with this? Let's go. Yes, thyself is different from the self. THY, the THE self. Why? Thyself is what? Your higher self, God. Thy is God. It's telling you symbolically or subliminal message that if you know thyself, you know the self. If you just know the self, you don't know thyself, you don't know Jack. All right, let's go. So the self, THE, is your ego self. That's why. Okay? That's you. That's I, me, my. The I, me, myself. No God. Remember the ego edge got out is on its own. When you in that mode, that's just you, the self. The ego. The is ego. God is God. Higher. Excuse me. That's the concept. Hope you understand that. Watch this. Now, thy is another word or name for a title of who? God. Just told you that. Your true self is thyself. That's the self that you want to know. That's the self that they told you. Thyself, not the self. And it said to know, not believe. If you're stuck on the self, aka the ego self, you will never know thyself. Moving on. Get the concept? Right thinking philosophy teaches you to know who? Thyself, aka your higher self. Oh yeah. Oh, right thinking philosophy teaches you to know thyself, aka the higher self, or we know it as what? Your true self, who for yourself. You need to know him for yourself, not for me. I can only conceptualize and theorize and give you instructions. You have to know it for yourself by what? Doing it. Implementing it called manifestation for yourself. Okay? Now that's how you know thyself. That's how you get to know thyself. Now, the conscious self. I give you the concept of being God conscious. God is pure conscious. When you become conscious of God within your conscious self, watch this. Your conscious self is what? You knowing who? Thyself, not just the self. Unconscious is the ego self. Conscious is the highest self. So your conscious self knows his higher self. AKA your spiritual self is your conscious with what? Spiritual knowledge of itself. My spirit is God. I'm giving God knowledge. You need God knowledge to know your God self. Conscious self, again, is what? Is when you become what? Master of the self, which is the ego self. You master, you control it. He don't run you. Now you know God and the self, aka you know both selves, higher and lower. Now you're enlightened, conscious. You get it? Hopefully, that's my goal to get you to get the concept. All right, here you go. I know thyself. Again, I also know the self. That's my ego self. Why? I know him. Oh, I know him now. And that's the true self, the higher self. Not your lower self, okay? You need to know him. Why? To put him where you need to be in service mode. If you just know the self, nah, you're not conscious of who? Yourself yet. You haven't woke up. You haven't became conscious of your higher self. Again, that's the ego self, the lower self. We all know that. Unless you raise above that, you're still gonna be on that level. You're back again to get a mulligan, a do-over. Wow, you didn't get it right. Belief in self, self-belief. It means not to know thyself. And if you just believing in the self, your ego self, you're gonna fall way short. Okay, and that's gonna be a problem. If you believe you are yourself, aka the ego self, me, I, that means you don't know yourself. That's definitely what it means. If you believe in you and not really knowing who you are, you don't know nothing. And that belief ain't gonna get you far. Watch this. Knowing yourself is the self. Is being what? Ignorant of your higher self. If you think this is you, think again. Okay? You don't know your higher self, which is the true and your real self. But you believers, the believer in his or herself, just what? They just know the self, aka the ego self, the lower self. That's okay. But once you raise your consciousness, now you're gonna know your higher self. If all you know is your lower self, you don't know Jack. And if you believe in your lower self, you stuck on stupid. Watch this. You believing in just the self, yourself, is good for what? To get you started on the trail to know thyself. But if you just gonna sleep, you got the self, and that's it, you falling way short. That's all I'm saying. Belief, listen, belief in self will turn into what? Knowing or having knowledge of what? Thyself. How? When you practice right thinking philosophy and master the teachings and the philosophical concepts for yourself, and that's when you will know thyself. That's my mission. It should be your goal. Now, we're getting almost, yeah, okay, we're halfway through. I got two. I'm doing good. Now, the art of knowing thyself is a process. And know it not knowing the self and knowing is not thyself is becoming wise. Why? Now you're starting to figure it out. Oh, this ain't all. Yeah, there you go. So I always knew me, myself, the ego self, aka, but I didn't know thyself until I got spiritual knowledge of self. I went to Egypt to get that 37 years ago. The self, aka ego self, will what? Will never change. Your ego won't change. You have to what? It won't change by itself. You have to do the work. Okay? You have to put him in check. Or he continue to run the show. And you'll continue to suffer and your life will be all feathered out. If just knowing the self makes you happy, if you're content with that, meaning you happy with you got good lifestyle, you got a lot of money, making good, your job is good, whatever, life is good. But guess what? That's going to get you a do-over. When you become spiritually enlightened, those things won't matter that much to you. I'm not saying that don't mean no, it's important. But if you put that above yourself, you're guaranteed to come back here and repeat the process. That's my point. And watch this. If just knowing yourself makes you happy, then you won't want to what? Know thyself. Why? You happy with yourself. That's the ego. It don't care. Moving on. Knowing thyself, knowing the self is cool. Until what? Until it's time to answer to thyself, aka God. But I didn't, yeah. They told me, but I said, yeah. Jesus. He said, Jesus will get me into heaven. They lied. Moving on. Just leave that there. Knowing the self, again, will what? Will work in human, while you're in the flesh. That's knowing yourself, ego self. But in human life. But you need to know thyself for what? For interest in the afterlife. That's what the knowledge I'm giving you is going to take you there. Damn, here, you need to be worried about there. This is temporary, and if you don't get it here, you get a chance to do it again. That's all. But I'm giving you the opportunity to get out of here. We all want to. Knowing what's this? Know thyself. How? By living the right life. When? Daily. Make it a way of life. And you'll be surprised if when you become consistent at something that you like doing, you'll become good at it. Living your life should be one of those things. So, now let me wrap it up. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. All right, here we go. I'm about done. You can claim to know thyself, yeah, but how you live will show who you really know. Again, it ain't in what you say, it's in what you do. And when they don't match, I know you don't. The only way to know thyself is something you have to do what? For yourself. I can't get you to know thyself. You have to do that for yourself. That's my point. The self is what? Hidden. I'm on the hidden one. From who? From the self, which is the ego. The knowers, aka the ignorant ones who believe they know when they really don't. Those are the ones that's dangerous. Those are the ones you got to watch out for. Okay? Those believers who don't know are dangerous. You can't convince anyone of what your self-knowledge of who thyself. It has to be experienced by everyone for themselves. That's the name of the game. As a teacher, all I can do is get you to the water. To experience it means you got to drink. Okay? Have a drink. Trust me. Last one to wrap it up. I appreciate you tuning in. If you don't know thyself, at Judgment Day, thyself ain't gonna know you either. So when you're standing there in karma, do what she do, give you what you deserve, your luggage, your history, and that weighs on your heart, and if that heart dips below the feather of my yacht, bye-bye. Yeah, that's the name of the game, conceptually. Your goal is not to have that happen in that manner. Your goal is to have it either light as or even lighter. Okay, I prefer lighter. Why? Because that way you're on your own. You got there by things you needed to do. That's why. And if thyself won't know you, that means it's just you, the self. What? Know thyself? That means no God. Just you. You can't go to afterlife on your own. You'll be back. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And right thinkers, as imparting, may you live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never knew that right thinkers like me would pass away. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got to go.